Hey everybody. Okay, so in this video we have to talk about the shutdown of both Disneyland in Anaheim and Walt Disney World in Florida. So initially, due to the coronavirus, Disney shut down their parks, both in Anaheim and Florida, till the end of March. So this gave a essential two-week window where the parks would be shut down, and they were technically supposed to open April 1st, right? Well, that's gone. And no one really expected it to reopen on April 1st anyway. But Disney came out a couple days ago and said, hey, look, this is what's going to happen. The parks are going to be closed indefinitely. They didn't give a set date when they will reopen. However, they did give cast members a little bit of clarity in terms of what's going on with their pay. Cast members will get paid until April 18th. Now, after April 18th, they might extend it. We don't know yet. They might not. That's yet to be seen. But as of right now, cast members can rest assured, breathe easy. They're at least going to get paid until the 18th of April. So here are my thoughts on this whole thing, right? So Disney comes out and basically says, our parks are closed indefinitely. I'm not so sure that was a great decision from a PR standpoint, okay? Because I don't really know who this really... the whole point of PR is to create a sense of comfort and sort of ease the situation, right? This does none of that. I mean, it doesn't really reassure Wall Street. Wall Street hates uncertainty. So saying that the parks are closed indefinitely doesn't really help the Wall Street situation at all. The stock, none of that is going to benefit from this announcement. It doesn't really comfort guests at all, like as an annual pass holder or anybody as a fan of Disney. I mean, to know that the parks are closed indefinitely, I mean, what are they trying to say? Is it going to be closed for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a month and a half? We just don't know. It leaves a lot of uncertainty for fans. And even with cast members, even though the cast members did get that promise to get paid until April 18th, it still leaves a lot of question marks for them because, they'll get paid till the 18th, but if the parks are closed beyond the April 18th mark, what does that mean for them? Are they going to be let go? Are they going to extend the pay a few more weeks? After that, it leaves a lot of uncertainty for these cast members, right? What happens beyond April 18th? Okay, so this is the issue. The press release was supposed to create a sense of like, okay, we kind of see where this is going, or at least some idea, get some answers. And I feel like this press release did the opposite. It left us with more questions than answers. Okay. Now, I honestly think Knott's Berry Farm, which is a local park with only a few miles away from Disneyland, is handling this situation a lot better than Disney. Why? Well, the reason being, what Knott's did was they said, okay, we're going to reopen in like mid-May. I think it's like mid-May or end of May. That gives Knott's enough wiggle room. That's a long time from now. That's like, probably 6, 7, 8 weeks from now, where the situation will probably improve by then. I hope so, right? And more than likely, Knott's will probably open before that scheduled reopen date. See, that was a smart move. They kind of overshot their estimate. So when they reopen any earlier, it's like, oh, cool. They opened earlier than expected. Universal, on the other hand, is doing like 2-week increments, kind of, right? They're only closed until like the end of April or something, or mid-April. That's not a good strategy either, because you're going to have to keep extending the closure dates, okay? And Disney's doing the complete opposite, which is indefinitely. We have no idea, okay? Disney and Universal are dropping the ball on this, okay? They're dropping the ball on this. Knott's has the right approach. Give people an end date to this. Give them the comfort and the kind of the certainty of knowing, okay, the parks are going to reopen. This is when we plan on reopening them. As opposed to like just the complete uncertainty of what Disney's doing with indefinitely, and as opposed to like the real piecemeal kind of Band-Aid that Universal's doing with these little windows of like 2 and 3 weeks at a time. Okay, so I do think Knott's out of the three is definitely has the best approach. Now, this is a bigger issue. It's not just about the Disney parks, and it's really about the country as a whole, right? Like, when should we reopen the economy? And this has been a debate really, across the country for a few weeks now. I know there's a lot of people, including the president, that wants to reopen by Easter. And there's a lot of people on the other side that say that we should just keep everything closed. The economy should stay closed indefinitely until the coronavirus is really squashed. Even if that's 6 months, it doesn't matter. Just keep it closed. I'm actually not on either side of those arguments. I don't think the country's ready to open by Easter. I also don't think the country can survive a shutdown indefinitely. Okay, this is the thing. With these shutdowns, when you're so tunnel vision on just coronavirus, you're neglecting everything else that goes on in society. So you have to understand, not everyone is a grocery store worker. Not everyone is a healthcare worker. Not everyone works in a pharmacy. So everyone else in society is out of a job, has no money, right? They can't afford groceries after a certain point. They're not going to be able to afford their medications, diapers, baby formula, essentials to survive. Okay, the shutdown, if it goes on indefinitely or for too long, will create a secondary crisis in and of itself. It'll create a death toll in and of itself, and we cannot do that. Okay, so this is a very delicate balancing act of protecting people and their health and their well-being, but at the same time, not throwing us into a economic depression where people are starting to die or have health problems because of the shutdown itself, right? Now, progressives have made the argument for a long time, and I actually agree with them, that financial health is very much tied and connected to physical health. You know, with like Bernie Sanders, you know, with his Medicare for All, people should be able to afford medications and healthcare and whatnot. Progressives have made this argument for a very, very long time, and I think that's true. Whether you agree with Medicare for All, whether you agree with Bernie Sanders, whether you agree with whatever, it doesn't really matter. Whether you're on the right or the left, I think it's pretty understandable though that, you know, if you don't have money and you can't afford food or medication, your health is going to go down the drain. I think we can all agree on that. So that's what's important here. In terms of reopening the economy, it's very dangerous to keep it closed for just an indefinite amount of time for months and months and months, in my opinion. So it's a tough situation all around. I don't envy the powers that be in government. I really don't envy the powers that be at Disney. In terms of Disney itself, I do worry about the financial health of the company. You know, I mean, if this thing stretches on for 3, 4, 5 months, like till like August or July, that's a lot of time, you know, of zero income, zero money coming in from the parks. And these parks make up a big chunk of the, you know, the revenue that Disney receives as a company, right? And yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm really worried about it, especially on the heels of a major acquisition of 70 plus billion for Fox. You know, Disney's already they're in debt already, and now this comes. Not a good thing. Now, I do remain hopeful. I do believe the parks will reopen fairly soon. Okay, there have been reports, I think it was yesterday, of Disney or Walt Disney World taking dining reservations as early as June 1st and beyond. So at least internally, it looks like Disney has an idea of when the parks will be open. Right? Because if you think about it from a business perspective, Disney's not going to take these reservations, right? These dining package reservations and what have you, if they don't feel certain that they'll be open by that day, in my opinion, because they don't want to give you a refund, right? They don't want to have to dole out a bunch of refunds. So I think they feel pretty confident that it'll reopen after June 1st. But again, that's just my speculation. I really don't know. That's just my guess. But what do you guys think about Disneyland, Walt Disney World in Florida being shut down indefinitely? Do you agree with me that the indefinitely verbiage in this press release is not really that great in terms from a PR standpoint? Or do you disagree with me? Do you think it's great? Do you think it's a perfect approach? Comment below. I would love to hear from you all. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, have a magical day.